Have you ever heard of a treasure so deeply hidden that it doesn't lie in a vault, a chamber, or even a cave, but inside the earth itself? A treasure sealed not by walls or guards, but by scientific riddles so advanced that even modern physicists struggle to decipher them? You're about to hear the story of a treasury that defies every law of geology, a vault that shifts, breathes, and reacts like a living organism. A treasury so misunderstood that for centuries it was dismissed as mythology, until scientists realized the ancient records were describing real, measurable anomalies deep below the planet's crust. This is the story of the ancient Geo-Core Treasury of Valtaris, a legendary underground construct said to contain metals, artifacts, and knowledge older than civilization itself. And if you think this is just a myth, wait until you hear what researchers discovered in the last decade. Let's begin. Long before the rise of Sumer, Egypt, or the Indus Valley, there existed a forgotten society known as the Valtaris Order. They were not farmers, not conquerors, not builders in the traditional sense. They were observers, scientists, engineers of the impossible. Valtarian elders believed the Earth was not simply a planet, it was a layered machine, built with precision and filled with natural chambers of immense power. These chambers, they claimed, held treasures left behind by the planet's first architects, whatever that meant. Most dismissed this as ancient poetry, until the discovery of the Geo-Core manuscripts. Unearthed in the 1800s deep within an Anatolian fault line, the manuscripts described a colossal underground treasury sealed by 3 geomechanical locks: the lock of pressure, the lock of frequency, the lock of silence, each one representing a physical condition required to open a chamber somewhere beneath the crust. It sounded absurd. It sounded impossible. But the measurements didn't lie, because every lock matched modern geological anomalies. In 1921, miners working near Lake Van detected something bizarre, a hollow region 30 kilometers below the crust. The pressure at that depth should have been enough to crush any void smaller than a mountain. Yet the cavity remained intact. Even stranger, seismic scans revealed perfectly smooth walls forming a spheroid shape. No natural process could carve that. Scientists couldn't explain it, and governments quietly restricted access to the region. But one detail made researchers panic. The cavity didn't respond to seismic waves the way rock normally does. It resonated like an instrument, as if something inside was waiting to be activated. And that's when a linguist studying the Geo-Core manuscripts pointed out an ancient line: when the pressure sings, the door awakens. The first lock was real. In 1963, a Soviet research team picked up a strange, consistent signal beneath the same region. It pulsed at exactly 19.7 Hz, too low for human hearing, too perfect to be natural. The signal repeated every 8 minutes, day and night, unchanging. When the team increased sensitivity, they discovered something shocking: the signal didn't fade with distance. It strengthened, as if it were being amplified by the planet itself. One researcher wrote in his private journal, "This cannot be geological. It is intentional. A message, a warning, or a lock waiting to be opened." His notes were confiscated. The project was shut down. But decades later, when digital seismic equipment became more advanced, the same frequency was detected again, stronger than ever. And when researchers compared it to ancient Valtarian inscriptions, they found an almost perfect match. The second lock existed too. So what about the third? The lock of silence. That one would change everything. Before we continue, if you enjoy stories about forgotten technologies, ancient anomalies, and mysteries that science still struggles to explain, feel free to subscribe. There are many more discoveries like this waiting, and some of them are far stranger. Let's descend deeper, because the silence is about to speak. Silence doesn't exist underground. There are always tremors, micro-vibrations, the shifting of plates and minerals. But in 2007, deep Earth probes detected a zone of absolute silence directly adjacent to the cavity, a region where vibration dropped to zero. Total stillness. No movement. No resonance. No sound. This shouldn't be possible anywhere on Earth. A seismic engineer described it as, like the planet is holding its breath. Over time, scientists noticed something even stranger. The silent zone moved, slowly, unpredictably, drifting around the cavity like a shadow. Geophysicists were baffled. ancient scholars would not have been. Because the Geo-Core manuscripts warned, the treasury hides from those who listen. Only those who bring silence may see its door. 3 impossible phenomena. 3 ancient riddles. 3 modern discoveries matching them exactly. The locks were real, which meant the treasury might be real too. But what was inside it? Nobody knew, until the drilling incident. In 2015, a high-pressure drilling project accidentally breached the outer boundary of the silent zone. The drill bit descended to over 11 kilometers, and then its sensors went wild. Temperature, normal. Pressure, abnormal. Acoustic reading, 0. Magnetic reading, spiking. And then, nothing. The drill bit didn't break. Didn't jam. Didn't snap. It disappeared. The metal shaft simply detached, as if pulled into a void. When the crew tried to retract the drill, they felt resistance, not from stone, but from something smooth and curved. A surface. Metallic. Warm. Impossible. Moments later, every monitor went black. And from the hole came a sound that froze the entire crew, a low, vibrating hum. One engineer described it as, like the earth was breathing beneath us. The drill site was shut down, and officials claimed it was a technical malfunction. But workers knew better. They had touched the outer wall of the Geo-Core Treasury. In 2021, an independent research team used deep learning geoscans to map the cavity with unprecedented clarity. What they found defied all logic. The treasury's outer shell wasn't static stone or metal. It changed shape, responding to vibration, to seismic pressure, to electromagnetic fields. But the most disturbing discovery? It responded to intention. When the scanning team collectively focused on specific geometric patterns, the same ones found in Valtarian inscriptions, the cavity's interior shifted slightly, as if acknowledging the thought. Not enough to open it, but enough to react. The treasury wasn't just a chamber. It was a puzzle, a machine, a mechanism that recognized input. The Geo-Core manuscripts describe this precisely. The door opens not by hand or tool, but by the mind aligned with the earth. Was the treasury built by the Valtaris? Or discovered by them? The manuscripts are unclear. But modern evidence suggests one terrifying possibility: the treasury may predate humanity. So what does the ancient Geo-Core Treasury of Valtaris truly contain? A metal unknown to science? Artifacts from a lost civilization? Records of Earth's earliest architects? Or something far more dangerous? Here is what we do know: there is a hollow, perfectly engineered chamber far beneath the crust. It resonates with unnatural frequency. It is surrounded by a moving field of total silence. It reacts to pressure, vibration, and intention. It contains surfaces no drill can penetrate. And it appears to be waking up. Many believe the treasury is not a vault, but a failsafe. A lock placed deep within the earth to protect, or imprison, something powerful beyond imagination. And if the riddles ever align, if the 3 locks ever open, the world may discover the truth behind Valtaris. And it might not be ready. If you want more ancient mysteries with scientific roots, forgotten technologies, and secrets buried deeper than history itself, consider subscribing. New stories arrive every week, and each one brings us closer to unlocking the past. Until next time, stay curious. Because the earth remembers more than it reveals.